Today's an exciting day. You get to join me as I unbox brand new UniFi equipment that's going to help me refresh my home lab network. We're going to unbox all the equipment that I received and look through what it is, what's the purpose, and start to get it into my network rack. There's a lot to do here, so I'm excited to share this process with you, hopefully provide some education along the way. All right, so we have all the gear laid out here. I may or may not have started unboxing some things, but we're going to take it box by box and we're going to explain what it's going to do and how it's going to fit into the home lab. What we're unboxing first here is the Ubiquiti 48 port PoE switch. Now it's a bit of a misnomer because there are only 32 ports on this switch that are PoE plus. There are another 16 gigabit Ethernet ports that are non-PoE, as I understand it. That's going to be tested as we get this switch on the network. It's the first time I'm actually working with a standard 48 port PoE switch from UniFi, so we'll figure that out as we go. Another nice feature they have is 4 1 gig SFP ports on the side. They also provide a total of 195 watts for total PoE availability. That includes things like cameras, APs, any of their other PoE components. The cloud key is actually PoE powered, which we'll talk about a little bit later video. And then it has fanless cooling. So this switch, when it's plugged in, is completely silent. What's also nice is inside the packaging, you get all of the hardware that you're going to need. You get your power cable, you get the ears for the rack mount kit, you get all of the paperwork that comes with it, and other components that go to put the switch into a rack and get it set up with the UniFi system. We're not going to start by scanning the QR code. You can do that through the mobile app, but we are using the cloud key in this network, so the cloud key is going to serve as the controller for all of the UniFi equipment on the network upgrade. Here I went ahead and plugged in the switch. You can see it's starting to boot. The LCD displays all kinds of status information, which is really nice. And the switch goes through its normal post operation where it's going to boot up, it's going to flash all the blinky lights, it's going to make sure everything's firing up fine. Any errors or issues with the switch will display on that LCD screen. Next, we're going to open up the cloud key. What's nice about the cloud key is the UniFi Cloud Key Gen 2 serves a lot of purposes on a network. One of the major benefits that I've seen used in production environments is the fact that you can manage it through a single pane of glass. So if you have multiple sites and instead of manage them all via VPN or some other technology through a centralized system, you can put them out at sites and have them all managed through a UI account through one single pane of glass. So if I have 15 sites, all with UCKs, all that have access points, cameras, whatnot, I can manage that through a single pane of glass, click into each controller, see what's going on the network. It's really nice. So what these things have is they have 32 gigs of RAM. They have a 1 terabyte HDD, so it's a spinning disk, but it can be upgraded to an SSD. I've seen various forums where people are upgrading those things constantly, and it's not a problem. But what's neat is the protect feature that uses the cameras, which we'll unbox later in the video, actually records locally to that. So it's an NVR system, but it also has access to, it has the access system, which allows you to use door locks and other types of technology. So there's a lot of stuff that this little cloud key can do. And what's nice is if you're scoping a network, UniFi has a scoping tool so you can determine how many access points, how many cameras, how many access control components that it can support. So it makes it really nice to start mapping that out. You can also see the rack mount kit that it goes into. What's neat about this is you actually have to invert, and we'll show kind of the install process later in the video, but you have to invert the cloud key and plug it in, and it flips the display, but it looks really nice and clean. You can see that that's a clean rack mount kit. It's a nice, almost like a panel blank, but it goes into the rack nice and neat, and it's all PoE powered. It also has an option to power it over USB-C if you happen to not have a PoE switch. However, in most cases, if you're going to be deploying access points, it's likely that you're going to have a PoE switch with an available switch port to plug into this. Just like with all the other UniFi equipment, you can see that it has all of the hardware to mount it. It actually came with rack nuts, rack bolts, so that you can mount it right into your rack. It also has other equipment, other paperwork that goes with it, so it explains what it is, how it works, how to set it up. All of that stuff is provided. And again, you can go to the UniFi website. UniFi website is probably the best way to do that, or look at other YouTubers that have set this up that are testing out the technology. We're going into the cameras now. These are the G4 bullet cameras. They have the G5s out. They also have some older models out. This is the standard model. There's a variety of tiers that can go up to a couple grand. in terms of feature set, AI monitoring, all of those things. I went with the standard just to give it a test run. Again, this is a whole new system for me. I've not used Unify Protect. I've not used any home NVR system outside of Amazon, Blink, and other equipment there. So it's really been a very simple network setup for my house protection and house NVR. You can't even call it an NVR, to be honest. But what we're going to do here is unbox all of these, get them connected. This is the G4 internal camera, which is really nice because it's USB-C powered and it's also wireless. So you don't have to worry about running cable to it inside the house. So it works off of the Wi-Fi, and if you have a Ubiquiti Wi-Fi access point, all running on the same system, you can all manage everything centrally through that cloud key. All of the hardware is included, so it has a USB-C charger with the charger block, everything you're going to need to power that camera. This is the most exciting thing that I got from Unify. This is the doorbell kit. So the doorbell camera is massive. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to mount that thing, but it is PoE powered, as is the doorbell chime that comes with it. So that is a doorbell chime that integrates with the doorbell, and it has a whole mounting kit. All of it's PoE powered, so it's going to go back to this switch, and it has a mounting kit that you can throw in the wall, or you can just stick it wherever is convenient for you. But this kit's really neat, and I'm excited to get it set up and see what it does. And that camera also has a package camera. So it has a main doorbell camera that has a wide field view, and it also has a package camera that points immediately down your doorstep. So for anybody that's getting a ton of Amazon packages, there's a big advantage there. But this is everything nice and neat and organized through all of the unboxing, and we're excited to start getting it. I'm excited to start getting it all situated so we can put it into use and put it into the network.